either AVAX and Wyckoff technical analysis, that's what we're going to talk about, and is Avalanche really going to launch eventually after a period of mild fluctuations compared to the other altcoins? Let's find out. Here we're looking at the weekly chart, and based on the Wyckoff cycles, it looks like Avalanche is getting to the late stage of an accumulation, meaning that it's getting very close to a distribution cycle. So last time when this happened, that's during the end of last year at the beginning of November, and it pumped all the way till the beginning of December, so a total of 6 weeks. And now 5 weeks, sorry. So now it may be going to happen again. So if we take a look at the Bollinger Band and Corner squeeze in the weekly, the squeeze has already happened, and it has been started since June 9th. So that's a total of 11 weeks now. And when the squeeze eventually releases its force, that's when the price pump will happen. Obviously, pumping going up isn't the only direction. It can come down as well when the squeeze happen. But then now that it's has finished or is near the end of accumulation, so the possibility of it pumping up is larger than that it's coming down. And since late June till now, for 9 weeks, the price has been staying above this upward trend support. So all the signs have been positive. Even this week's drop, the drop wasn't that crazy in terms of volume. There's still half a week, but then looking at, like, even if we double up the volume, it would be more or less the same as what we had in the previous weeks, or lower than what we had in the past 8 weeks. And more importantly, looking at the current candlestick, there's a pretty long wick at the bottom, meaning people are pushing the price up. So there was quite some supporting force over there. So all of these are positive signs supporting it to get into the distribution cycle. So that's the big picture. Going to the micro, here last week we asked, would that be an LPSY? That may be the case, so we can take this out. However, if it's really going to shoot up, then we will see an upwards of the distribution eventually. And not that we're going to see a sign of weakness anytime soon. That's based on the assumption that it goes up. Unless something crazy happens, some bad news came out, then suddenly it falls through this support trend and then come back to test the orange level. Not that it hasn't happened before. Of the two signs of weaknesses back in 2003, February and April, it came down for some tests, further or deeper tests before the distribution cycle eventually happened. But as of now, those news, as long as those news doesn't come out, there's no bad news, the likelihood of it going up is a bit higher. Okay, so I think what I have covered, including the squeezes, even the daily is showing quite a bit of squeeze as well. That's obvious because the weekly has been showing it for weeks, and now we've got double squeeze happening. So any moment from now onwards, that pump would happen. So we just have to wait and take a look at the rocket launch here. I'm just trying to check finally the volume of these daily. Over here there were quite a bit of change of hands. So we had a short candle body, but then the volume was very high, so there may be some people trying to sell, but then a lot of people buying in as well, changing hands over here. And then eventually over here there was quite a big price drop, but then the volume is very low. So yeah, it's still consider it a positive sign. So hopefully this may happen, and actually this may not be an upthrust of the distribution. This may just be an upthrust. Reason, if you haven't been in my previous sessions, when we put in this, I said this may just be a second test, not even an upthrust, because the price level was so close to the buying climax. So now, let me make it clearer. I just put it a second test over there instead of an upthrust to make it more precise. So that's it for AVAX. It looks positive. That's what I think looking at the chart. Finger crossed for the bulls. Hopefully, if you're a long-term supporter for AVAX, it's time